guys, my name is Joe and welcome to Media Fight Mondays. So, the first and third Monday of the month, I take a look at a fight scene from movies, TV, animation, and so on. And I'm looking at this relatively short clip from Delta Force 2 from 1990. Basically, it's Chuck Norris playing the guy that Chuck Norris usually plays, beating up a bunch of recruits for the military's Delta Force. It's a training exercise. The fight choreographer for this scene is listed as Rick Prieto. Hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly. His martial arts background is he's one of Chuck Norris's students. He studied other things, but his highest rank and his relevance to this fight scene is that he's a black belt under Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris himself, his martial arts background started off in Tang Soo Do. He's also trained in Judo. He's trained grappling under Jean LaBelle. I think we see a little bit of that in some of the moves here. But anyway, he's Chuck Norris. As far as the other participants here, I don't recognize any of them offhand, but I'm going to assume that they're probably part of his school or school systems stunt team. I could be wrong about that. If you know any better, please let me know in the comments. First guy comes and throws a punch and eats a shoulder throw. Another guy comes in, eats a spinning back kick. He moves in, follows it up with a choke. Looks like he stops right before the guy goes unconscious. That was interesting that he would move from a spinning kick, which typically requires a great deal of range, and then closes the distance, not in a particularly efficient way, but locks on that rear naked choke. This guy throws like a back fist and eats, it's like a shihonage, is what we call that. Another guy throws a kick at the head. That's some Jean LaBelle influence. I've seen that in his books. And then sort of a half Boston Crab. We don't even see how that guy, he just was on the ground, ate a knee drop. Now, this is sort of a kneeling neck compression. Another kick misses. He gets a reverse foot sweep, I'd call that. Again, weaves his leg in, and yeah, this seems, it's a knee compression with a, scissors takedown with an axe kick to the belly. Yeah, that was a knee compression followed by a hair pull, similar to pro wrestling's STF, step over toe hold face block. Again, I'm pretty sure that's a Jean LaBelle signature right there. So this guy gets Norris in a full Nelson. It's a crappy full Nelson, but he goes for it. So Norris falls back, kicks him in the gut, and then pulls him over. That could have actually been pretty bad. That could have spiked him on top of his head, which can cause severe spinal injuries. So let's be good that that guy actually went with the throw. I don't find that particular throw realistic. Like, grab a dude by his ankles and toss him over your head, but So, Norris goes for an arm lock, reverse elbow to the body, flips him over with his head, and again continues to work the arm before, pulling up on the chin. So again, that seems very Jean LaBelle influenced there. So, for realism, how are we going to grade that? Everything in there is stuff you could do. A lot of it is stuff it's going to be difficult to do on someone with at least the instinct to fight back when you're like stretching their leg out. I think catching that punch into a shoulder throw is more cinematic than anything else. But again, everything there is at least grounded in reality. It looks like, as the setup, he's focusing on strikes to the body, and grappling maneuvers. So he's not trying to knock anyone out, which is what you would do with a group of, in this imaginary situation. You're not trying to actually damage anyone, but it's like sparring with body shots, except they were throwing punches and kicks at his head. That's interesting to me, especially in boots. When I was in the military, we had steel-toed boots as part of our, you know, what we were issued. I wouldn't spar with head kicks if I'm wearing steel-toed boots. That seems like you just tied a hammer to your foot and swinging it at somebody's face. I give it a middle of the road for realism. I'll give it a B. Um, like I said, all the moves are grounded in reality. All the moves are things that you can actually do to somebody. The sequences and orders of it, and some of the other things surrounding it, don't seem particularly realistic. As far as the storytelling value goes, the only thing we're learning is that, I mean, presumably you've already seen Delta Force 1 because this is Delta Force 2, but who knows? You're seeing that this guy can take on a bunch of military special forces guys in hand-to-hand combat and treat them like children. Beats every one of them, controls them in such a way that he doesn't really have to use any, cause any real damage. Although again, like almost spiking the guy on his head with that ankle throw and stretching the guy's arm out over his shoulder. That's getting close to actually hurting somebody. But as far as storytelling goes, what are we looking at with this? I would say, let's just give it a middle of the road C. It is telling a story, and that story is that, this guy can beat up a bunch of really capable fighters. That's it. It helps to sort of establish Chuck Norris's character as that bad a dude, right? But doesn't really further anything, and there's no there's no story evolving from one punch to the next. Just him taking on new dudes and beating them up. So anyway, Media Fight Mondays come out the first and third Monday of every month. But check out my short videos on Tuesdays and my long form videos, usually book reviews, on Fridays. I'll see you guys later. Thank you.